Welcome back. We have with us today a gentleman who has cast more movies than you can shake a stick at, I'll tell you, and TV shows such as Dinotopia and Arabian Nights. But when you think of The Godfather, you think of Poltergeist, you think of the Indiana Jones trilogy, Norma Ray, on and on and on. I'll leave it up to you to give him a hand. Will you please welcome Mike Fenton? Welcome to my proverbial casting couch.
Uh-oh.
Hi, how are you? I had to say that.
I'll just sit over here a little, Patty.
I had to say that. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Patty.
How are you?
I am terrific. I mean, how could you be when you spend time in this beautiful desert?
I know, we're so fortunate. We really are.
Yeah.
And you divide your time back to L.A. and here.
The nice thing about casting films is that all you need is a telephone, a fax machine, and some email. And every once in a while, I have to go up and meet some actors. But for the most part, we do it all through communication.
So amazing. We were talking before we came on about how much we love and enjoy that which we do, this wonderful world of show. And you were talking about a typical day for you would be.
Well, this was a typical day. A number of years ago, a journalist said to me, we're doing this piece, and we'd like to know, what does a casting director do? And I said, well, do when? And she said to me, well, what was your day like yesterday? And I said, well, let me see.
Tough day.
It was a tough day. At 8 o'clock in the morning, I played men's doubles tennis with Jack Nicholson. And at 12:30, I had lunch with Steven Spielberg. And at 4 o'clock, I had a meeting with Paul Verhoeven. And that evening, I went to dinner with one of my producers. And the journalist said, that was a work day? When do you work? And I said, all of it was work.
That's it, yeah. But it's fun. It's play.
It's great.
It's creative. And you've been touted very respectfully so as being a casting director who is imaginative and original. What really do you think makes Mike Fenton so special?
A lot of luck and timing.
No, there's more than that.
I think it's basic taste. Like anybody else in our business, we have relationships, and when you build a relationship with the agents and with the producers and the directors, then you're able to continue. And I've spent a lot of time working with actors, and I find them just terrific. And the producers and the directors are wonderful. And there are even very interesting and nice agents for the most part. And whether we are creative or not is really kind of up to the agents, because the agents can make or break a production. If I call an agent and say, look, I need Jack Nicholson, but I've only got $8 million, will you read it for him? And his agent's either going to say yay or nay. But if I don't get Jack, then I have to, as we say, go down in grade. And that sometimes can be debilitating to a film. I mean, when we did Cuckoo's Nest, we were supposed to start shooting. Yeah, it was just wonderful. And Milos Forman.
And who else could play that part but Jack Nicholson?
Well, that's the point.
Right, go ahead.
And we were supposed to start shooting in April, the year that we were doing the film. And his agent, Sandy Bressler, called me and said, Jack can't do it in April. So, what are you talking about? He said, he needs money. So he's going to do a picture in Europe first, but he could do it in September. So I called the producer, and I said, we're losing Jack. What do you mean we're losing Jack? I said, well, we can do it in September. He says, great, we'll do it in September.
So there you go.
So we shot in September.
Now, when you read scripts, obviously, people pop into your mind. Have you ever had auditions where someone walks in and someone you think that this is not going to be the right person, then all of a sudden you go, oh my gosh, this is the correct person to play this part? Are there any examples of that you could cite?
I don't know if there's a specific example, but it happens all the time. The other side of that coin is we get stuck. Any casting director will get stuck on a role. It might be a day player, it might be a featured player, it might be a co-star player, and we sit with the director and we wring our hands and we say, please, please give us a leg up. I mean, who is this person?
Right.
And the director kind of sits back and stretches and says, I'm not sure, but I'll know he or she when they enter the room.
And when they enter, you say, oh, please let them do a good job, and they do.
Yeah.
And they do for the most part, I'm sure. What do you look for in a reading?
Well, in a reading, we'd like to see the actor submerge who he or she is and to take on the attributes of the character. Now, it's interesting when a director starts out to make a motion picture, he has the words that are on the page that the writer has created. Now, sometimes we can't find a 6'3" Scandinavian girl who speaks Watusi. Now, I know that sounds strange, but sometimes you just can't do it.
Right.
So we all have to be malleable, and that's where the director comes in, and the director says, well, let's see, I was thinking about that, but you know what? Instead of a 30-year-old Caucasian woman playing this part, I really love that kid you introduced me to 3 weeks ago. Let's go with an 18-year-old African-American to play the role.
My first role on Charlie's Angels, they were looking for a tall blonde, and at that time I was brunette. Of course, now I'm my natural color, but I was a short brunette, and that was my first role. But that's
wait a minute, but that was acting.
That's right.
I mean, you were short then, and
yes,
now you're tall.
Now I'm tall. Now I'm a tall blonde. That's right. There you go. What do you think about this strike?
Oh, brother, don't get me started. I find that it's so difficult. Earlier in the show, when we were in black, we were speaking about Teamsters, and the casting directors are now Teamsters, so I certainly support the union movement.
Of course you do.
The however is, it's unfortunate. I've been through so many strikes in my career, and nobody wins.
No one wins.
This is one that's just, I mean, I
the momentum
fear
stops?
The momentum is stopping. All the writers are out, and they are doing their picketing, but the tough time comes in April and May, and the reason for that is the director's contract is up June 30th.
Oh, no.
And the actor's contract is up June 30th. And the Association of Motion Picture and Television Producers, who have all the strength, they could be waiting, because if they settle with the writers, whatever they give the writers, they're going to have to give more to the actors and the directors.
It's going to snowball.
So it's just one man's opinion, but I think we're in for a very long, dastardly strike. We're working on either 4 or 5 films at the moment.
Goodness.
And it's not that we couldn't go into production, but we know we can't go into production starting in March, because if we go into production in March and we shoot for 8 weeks, and then we have to do reshoots 3 weeks later, we could run into the strike, and then we could never finish the picture.
Then you're really stuck. Yeah. Well, it's a no-win situation for everyone. It really is. And with technology where it's come, that's where their end is where the difficulty lies.
It seems that that's the crux of the argument, that the association, the producers are saying, wait a minute, how can we tell you how much we can give you from internet use when we don't have a clue how much we're going to receive?
Well, we'll find out. We'll find out. I want to thank you so much for joining us. I look very forward to seeing your next work, Mike. You're terrific. You were always such a gentleman. I came in, I read for you a few times, and I can't thank you enough for all you're doing for all the actors in Hollywood. When we come back, we will meet John Callahan. Thank you.